Hello everyone, I'm Theo Eschart from HSEvents, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar, Efficient Asset Management, the Key to Releasing Creativity, kindly sponsored by CI Hub. During the session, please send through your questions at any point using the questions box on your GoToWebinar side panel. Also a reminder that recording of this session will be sent to you tomorrow, so you can view it again at your own pace. Now it's my great pleasure to pass you over to Nick Stein from CI Hub. Thank you, and over to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. As you see, there are three of us today. I'm Nick. I'm the Director of Revenue Generation at CI Hub. And we have Stephanos Berger. Sorry, he's this way. It looks a little strange. From CIDCOM. And we have Jonas Hutterer from the Account Manager from Celum with us. Let me just go to the next slide. So here we are. This is going to be what we're going to be doing today. So we'll just go through a quick introduction of who we are, and then I will take you through a quick run through of the CI Hub products. Then there will be a conversation between Stephanos and myself, talking about how to become an efficient agency with the right tools. Jonas will take over and then talk how Celum and CI Hub is a fantastic solution to managing access to DAM and plus more. You're going to be showing some more stuff today too. And then we finally end that up with a short Q&A. Without further ado, I think the best thing to do is go through the introductions. You've heard enough of my voice already, probably. So I'll pass you over to Stephanos.
Okay, thank you, Nick. You're lucky, one native speaker in the room. Yeah, I'm really proud of being invited to this webinar because we at CIDCOM, we are working with digital asset management for a long time, since 2008, because we found the truffles at the right time to walk into a completely new way to organize our data. And this is really, I say, an advantage we still have, because it's not so common for agencies to use this. And this is very much different from going in with tools like downloading services, you know them all, where you have all this data aging the very moment you put it on. We are sharing data. This is our philosophy with our customers on a certain level. We come to this a little bit later. And we are working with CI Hub because this is our ties to our digital asset management and makes it really easy to just have hands on all the assets we have, to place it in layouts, to upload it, to maintain it, to review it, to delete it even, to rename it, and what else so far. Yeah.
Fantastic. Jonas?
Well, yeah, I'm also delighted to be here. Thanks a lot. We work with, on the one hand, CIDCOM and CI Hub both as well. We are partners with CI Hub as well. And yeah, I'm the account manager for CIDCOM here. And I'm just going to give you, after we've heard Stephanos talk about how he uses our software, I'm going to give you a quick run through over how our Celum software works, which is basically digital supply chain management platform. And yeah, but more on that later on. Happy to be here.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I will now take you through a quick walkthrough of CI Hub for all of those who don't know, and I don't think there's many of you out there anymore, which is a great thing for us. So basically, there's the reason for us is there's a constant switching between apps and DAM, and so we wanted to plug that gap basically to keep you focused on the creation side of what you do. And so, as we show here, this is the optimize the potential of what you're doing. For every interaction, there's a potential for a bit of a loss of what you're doing because you're coming out of context. So this is, again, talking about the content creation and the external data sources, connecting them correctly in the place that you're working in to make it focused. And obviously, from a business point of view, if you're a creative person and you're focused, you're working in a much more efficient way, and efficiency equals an economic advantage. So I probably ruined this slide, but we'll go through it anyways. So yes, optimization, less distraction, less window hopping, everything, all that, and the content in context is what we like to call it. So then we have when you're actually then using the brand assets, we have an easy way for brand compliance and digital rights management and version controlling. And these things are all very, very useful. And then it also helps you make sure that the DAM is the single source of truth, because it becomes a very working environment. And then obviously with the economic side of it, the more people using and accessing the dam in the right way, or in their everyday work, it's a better return on investment on the dam. Then obviously for the brand team, that's more of their stuff is getting used. So again, better return on investment. And all the way down to, we even have a certification, ISO certification, that makes you understand that we're doing things the right way. So basically what we see is there's the creative area in corporations, and that's 5 to 8% of the people involved, and that's comes out at about 68 million potential users. But that's not just what we want to attack. We end up focusing on, we end up wanting the entire corporation to use it. So there's the creators that are creating in products like Adobe or Figma and Sketch and so on and so forth. But then there's the bigger zone, the Microsoft users, the Google users, who make up a much bigger area of the users of the images and assets that have been created. And that goes one further. And this is where there's the consumer level of it. So this is people who need to access only on a ad hoc basis, and this is, we can use something that we've created, which I'll show you in a second, that can help access everybody. And this is then a very, very big opportunity. And so this is the connector family. So the connector family with the professional, we are really making sure the people who have high touch with graphics they're creating and the brand have a very, very useful tool that gives them all the functions and features and, that they need to make sure that they're actually doing everything that's possible to make the brand as strong as possible. Then the corporate side is the consumer, kind of, say you're a salesperson and you need an extra image in a slide or something like that. You can use the brand assets that have already been created, easily accessible through our corporate plugin inside of Microsoft environment. As you see, it's going to be launched at the end of Q3 this year. So basically, this is just making sure that everybody can gain access quickly. Then there's Drive. This is what we refer to as DAM on desktop inside CI Hub. So this is something that you need zero onboarding to this tool completely. The other two are pretty intuitive anyways, but this one, I think everybody knows how to use OS Finder, the Mac OS Finder, and they know how to use Window Explorer. There's no issues there, and basically you can roll this out through your IT department that everybody gets access to the DAM and all the assets inside. And it's on permission based, so every permission that you have in the DAM is replicated inside Drive. So as we show here with the professional, it's more it's a smaller zone, but it's a great tool for high demand creators. It gives them the advanced capabilities. I've walked through a little bit of this already, and so it's basically the industry standard for connectors. With the corporate, we're hitting this next part of the market and really making sure that it's high, as the main point in this, I think, is the high value solution for brand compliance. And this is basically that brand shouldn't just be living inside the brand department or the marketing department. It thrives when everybody's got access to it and can really use it the correct way. So we basically pared down the professional version to a very, very, as it says, sleek 3-button design for simplicity. So we can really make sure that it's easy to use and then, roll it out quickly. And then finally, it's the Drive. This is, as it says here, for everyone, anywhere. It's, as I said, it's really just, it's no admin, there's no configuration, no support needed. It's really seamless to use, and it's fully integrated and fully secure. So this is really a key thing that we're pushing out. So that is, sorry, that's my slides. So I think it's now over to the presentation. No, so the conversation basically that we're going to do. So I got to just exit out of this. I apologize. Stop sharing my screen. And so basically, Stephanos, you have been one of our greatest people to talk to. You came and presented to our company. Unfortunately, I think we're looking at both different ways in the camera, so it looks very strange. Probably.
Can move over to your screen because Jonas is out of the screen.
Yeah,
it's a matter of space.
Yeah, exactly. So we're
3 aspect ratio.
We have the great thing that we can all be in a room together. I mean, obviously, we all went through the whole COVID stuff, so these are different times now, which is and it's great to get in here. So basically, we want to talk a little bit about when did you have that time when you as an agency that you said, okay, fine, I want to become more efficient and everything, and I'm going to have to shop for a solution like a DAM. When was that tipping point for you?
Yeah, this was, as I told before, way back in 2008. Because as we are a very brand-focused agency, we are doing positioning, we're doing brand campaigns, and all the digital stuff today. So we changed a lot in the last 25 years since we're existing. We just ran after some solution to bring kind of order in our creative data. And way back 2008, you had really nothing on the market, and all of a sudden there was a call from a company called Celum. Yeah, I asked the guy the same 3 questions, asked everybody, and 2 of them were answered with yes. So we're in the business. This is the first thing. You can't use them if you can get your data there at least. Yeah? If this is a process, it takes 4 weeks and some programmers and blah blah, then it's just complicated. In some cases, it is the only way. Yeah? But for an agency with 10, 15 people like we are, it must be easy. And this was just the first step going into them and finding everything in a web browser and everything indicated fully with text and colors and what else. And the most important thing was our strategy, and here comes the IHub in the game later on. We want to share the data with our customers and our clients, but we want to share it not in a way like sending around as it was CD-ROMs earlier, drives later, and now we transfer download links. We just data is mingled up everywhere. Yeah? You never have the correct version, and you just give, let's say, open data to the customer. And this is kind of the contract. You know, this is kind of this is part of the work, because if you get your car repaired, you don't get the garage. Yeah? And this is how we work. And here comes Celum in on one hand, because it has the possibility to give different data sets to the customer, to the client, to the audience, like not the working data, but presenting data. On one hand, makes life easier, because if everybody's fiddling around to your images and layouts on the customer side and the client side, you're getting a lot of trouble. And then the connection was important between the applications, and for us, it's mainly Adobe InDesign, because they're the most assets placed into layouts. And for this, we're using the iHub. This was something Celum actually recommended to us, to change from this, because the connection we had earlier was just discontinued, and we had barely no chance and no choice what to do. And the iHub was really the smartest tool on the market. We've chosen it, and we're happy from the first day on.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. And basically, from conversations we've had a number of times, I know that you're what would be called a lean tech stack marketing tech stack company. Could you explain a little bit about that? Because there's so many tools out there. Why did you decide just to have a few tools? And if you want to talk a little bit about what they are.
My main goal is always to reduce tools in our workflow, in any kind of our workflow. That means all these nice web tools where you can move blocks around and things like this, and steal other people's time and whatsoever. I'm looking for what the people are using. So, and they don't want to use too much tools. They want to get into streamlined work. And they want to learn new techniques. It starts, for example, by how we deal with our work time. You know, we are just noting our work time in a calendar-like type of program, which is completely different to any other agency software on the market, because it's not an agency software. We adapted it, and because we've just been looking on what people are doing. They're managing their appointments. This is what they can do. So why not managing your time you're working on jobs the same way? For example, this is a big advantage, and we only have one tool for this. And in creative work, we just streamlined it down. We are not entirely on the Adobe suite. We're working together also with Affinity and Figma and with Sketch. So we are selecting the most productive tools. InDesign is by far the most productive tool for page layout, in connection with the digital asset management, in connection with the iHub. And that's it, in fact. So that means a digital asset management or a hub, like Jonas said before, or supply chain tool, takes one big burden off your shoulders to look around, where is my data? in which SharePoint it has been drowned beyond folders and structures. And there's one downside. If you're using a tool that's not, for example, Dropbox standard, you have to be the one who is always behind and telling people we're using it, use it that way, try it this way. This is a new thing that has been implemented. Try it out. So somebody has to drive the bus. And sorry guys, this cannot be the guy who is just in charge of the IT. Actually, he has other jobs to do. This is somebody who has to be in the process and is working with all the assets, is working with creativity, and also must have some experience with what people are doing, how workflows are organized. And it should be easy. It should be really easy. And CIHub brings it in very easy.
Okay. Okay. Now, in that, yeah, because basically I've worked in agencies too, and the tech stack grows and grows and grows. So it's interesting to see you reducing it to make it a more focused and easy workflow for yourselves. So when was that point that you had that tipping point when you said I have to have the DAM, because this really makes a sense that there's a solution there for me to organize this? Because I think that's for the viewers today, that's probably a common question for them. When is that? If they're searching for one, there's, okay, do I need it yet?
Let me illustrate it.
Okay.
Starting very early at 2008 with the DAM from Celum, we had some competitive software on the market. Maybe you've heard about things like named after clouds and skies. And these things had all servers on premise. They've been complicated, been very expensive, a little bit shaky, unstable. Had some desktop clients that haven't been working with the latest software releases, not on all platforms. The thing was, why did we want this? Because we started to give around SideQuests, CD-ROMs, drives, USB sticks, and things like this, despite we had a server. Because the server structure was just, as you know, it's from any SharePoint, just a folder, you flip it on and off, and that's it. But to keep the data in sync, at this time, there was no technology for this. That means if you open the file, you cache the other one. It was a first come, first save, and also first come, first fuck it up. Pardon my French. And so we needed a solution where the files are in security and probably also locked out from being worked on if somebody else is doing it. And a DAM is just providing this on first aid. Yes, today you have some nice little headless devices for the network. They can also do this, but it's not really a DAM because they are missing so many features. They have no work progress, no workflow implemented, and it's just because they give the software for free. It's just for organizing the data. Parts of it you find, for example, in Celum, but I'd say the other way around. Parts of Celum you find in all this little neat software you get with your network attached storage device or server, what else. So classical server technique and structures have been not applicable for us, even way back in 2008, because of how to organize the data so that nobody is just fucking about the shit by crashing a file. Just a technical reason, that's it. And the structure of Celum allowed us to grant the rights, to grant permissions, and to create kind of a workflow way back then.
Okay, no, that's definitely an interesting take on all of this. That's so basically.
So sorry, one thing. The most important thing. This is something you learn when you start with your DAM. Suddenly you have all your data wherever you are. And you have it without downloading it. You don't have it with long loading times, because a well-organized DAM like Celum is presenting you previews, is presenting you some manipulation errors, is presenting you right now in the latest version, Jonas is coming to this, then kind of workflows. That means your data is actually live. It is live data. This is the big difference. And it's just when you're as an owner, you're lying on your back somewhere in a chair on the Canary Islands, and you get a call from your client. Where is this logo? And he has access, for example, to the system. You just search it easily and send him the link. He's downloading it, and he's downloading it in just the size and version and color space you want him to have.
Okay, no, that's I think you
unclutters your desktops. The biggest advantage.
Yeah, because I know again, working with agencies, you go to some people's desktops and it's a disaster, and you're thinking, wait a minute, those are important files that everybody's going to need to access.
You can look at ours. Yeah? Only the architect's desktop, but he's just the herding guy.
Yeah, no, but
he's saving everything twice.
That's exactly what I was, the example I was thinking about with the artwork guys that I was working with. Yeah. All right, that's interesting. So basically, we just have a few more questions, but we actually, there is a question that we're going to put into the chat, the polls. I don't know if it's already been put in there yet, but we would love to know, hear back from you a little bit. And obviously, remember, there's always a chance to ask questions all the time. We will answer them at the end. So basically, there we go. It's now just live on the screen. It's something there for you. We would love to know about your where you are with your dams, if you're looking, if you're not looking, if you're thinking, if you're shopping at the very beginning of your journey on exploring. These are all interesting pieces of information to us. So I've got this other question. Basically, sorry, I'm not reading it very well. As an agency owner, efficiency and uniqueness are the way that you make your money. I'm sure you can talk about the uniqueness of your campaigns and CIDCOM for days. However, I think people who have joined today are more interested in about the efficiency. It's still going back to that tech stack, because it's really, I think that's a key thing whenever I've been talking to potential users for CI Hub or a DAM. They're just saying, okay, fine, is this the moment for the tech stack? I really want to go back to that point and just really drag into that, okay, what were you doing before a DAM? How did it look before? Because I'm sure there's some people in the, watching today who are at that point when they're just, I don't know.
I think we did the same you do today if you don't have a DAM.
Okay.
Just shoveling data around, and then looking for it and asking who has this file on his computer. Can you send it over to me? This is, for example, about reducing tools. We killed email in the company. This is one of our main assets. And this is done by a very good enterprise network solution. Everybody knows it, starts with S. And this really helped to kill email, for example. And email is also, for creative collaboration, a very bad but common tool. Sending around files from A to B. First one, you're just doing a good job for your IT guy, because you're really filling up the mail server if you still have one. If you don't have one, if you have 365 plus, then okay, it's your compliance thing you have to deal with. But if you have an internal mail server, this is just a bad thing, because these files get stored. Nobody is deleting big attachments, and also not finding it because you know it. The attachments have names like img_123.png, and this is also a thing where it then comes in handy, because then you can just tell people rules like, don't upload files with generic names. First, send them through any kind of name mangler of any software and give them names. Even if you upload, for example, a photo shooting, or a series of shots from a product. So a DAM also gives you the chance to bring things in order, and to start a kind of a tradition how digital assets are treated before they enter your way of how you store it in your agency. And so this was also something we weren't able to do before we started with Celum, with the DAM, because we had all these disks and drives lying around. And so files multiply, have the same name, people replace the wrong files. And even if you do everything on a SharePoint today, for example, it's still not the way how to organize it, because you miss features of a really productive DAM. Efficiency is, can I search it? Can I find it? What can I do with it? And is there, for example, the connecting tool, the CI Hub connector, also capable of representing these actions in my page layout software, for example? Can I search for the same terms?
Yeah, I mean, in that, I wonder how many companies have bought the same image twice because they couldn't find it.
Right.
And I'm sure that's you could see a big budget line there, just wasted assets.
Actually, what we are doing, I mean, call me a bit of a monk, but I'm the guy who's just driving this in our company. When we are downloading some photo from Adobe Stock or from iStock or from Shutterstock, where else, or we get it from the photographer, we give them keywords, we indicate it on Celum. This is very, very easy, and sometimes people forget it, but then we can do it afterwards. You can do it afterwards because it's not a download platform. It is just a living file file. Yeah? You can manipulate it after that, even changing names, for example. And by putting keywords in and uploading all the stock photos we buy, we get our own collection. Yeah. And we even can give them, for example, if they're not stock, but coming from a photographer, talking about efficiency, we can give them kind of a release time. That means at a certain point of time, this photo cannot be downloaded by the artist, by the graphic designer, by the marketing guy, and even not by the client if he has access to our system. Because you know it, when a photographer is just going after his rights, and in times of AI, it is even more important, then you pay a lot more. Okay. And it's just managing things, and that the efficiency starts, because I don't want to know how many letters from attorneys agencies get because of the file purchased in the wrong rights permission or what else. It's the same with audio.
No, perfect. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything
else? Sorry, audio and video is also something you can perfectly store on a DAM. Don't forget that. You find all your video, you find the footage. We upload footage, for example. If you find footage good enough to be uploaded and use it later, then we can do it. And you can just preview it. And there's one little thing we also do. This is something maybe the international viewers won't know it, but for example, in Austria, if you go to the brick and mortar, you have a system where you have to provide to all these chains where you get your groceries, and so you have to provide the same set of photos in kind of size and with some description. It's called GS1. It's all over Europe. And with our digital asset management, we can host GS1 data to the retail chains. That means we are working for our customer. For example, it's a food company. It's creating bread spreads. And just the marketing guy is putting on the bread spreads from the photo shooting. We never have seen them because we're using them later in some creatives. He tells us there's new photographs from this pink or curry bread spread on the server, just use it. But in the meantime, he uploads this using our server as a host. And automatically, these links are created and he can send it to the central service for all the retail chains and the retail stores where they get the photographs for their leaflets, for their flyers, for their online stores, and for the promotions. And this is also done with big brewery companies from the Netherlands, for example, also with Celum. So this works. And there's so many ways how you can use a DAM and integrate in the workflow in an agency that you really sometimes forget what's all running here. That's it. And this is why we love it.
No, that's fantastic. I think you've done a very good job. I think you got something to live up to now, Jonas. So I think that really gives us the chance to pass it over to Jonas and really let him go with it, because you got a good demonstration here.
Please. Yes. We're gonna maybe run this a slight bit like this. Hello, everybody. Now I'm gonna show my screen. And I hope that's working. Yes, it's looking good. So yeah, we've heard a lot of information about how it's being used, and now I want to give everybody here a little bit of a back insight into what do we really offer, so you can maybe have a more clear picture of how it works actually. So yeah, I'm going to give you a quick run through of our Celum software, and I'll take you through the entire content supply chain management platform, which is used for product content management, for brand management. Digital shelf activation is one of the things we focus on, and of course it's also for agencies like CIDCOM. We have right here, and I'm going to give you a brief overview over the whole supply chain platform basically. And this is the first thing you're going to see when you're logging into Celum. As you can see, we are here in a browser picture, so you don't need to download an app, you don't need local storage, anything like that. It's all in the cloud basically. So anybody that has access to a browser can always access all the data you have stored in your DAM and in the other tools I'm going to show you in a little bit. Yeah, so when we start out, this is the first thing we're going to see. This is our dashboard. This is, to mention right away, extremely customizable. This is a trend you're going to see throughout my whole demo a little bit. One of our main focuses is that what we offer has to be tailored to our customers, because all the customers have very different needs, very different expectations, and therefore we have a big focus on making it very accessible and a very tailored experience. This is pretty easily explained, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You can already start uploading content. Here you can see your recent uploads that have happened. You can also check out your favorites if there's something you are keeping an eye on. And this is just so to give you a first impression of what's been going on in my system, so to say. And then we want to go to the first cornerstone and main section of our content supply chain management platform, which is the so mentioned DAM. This is where you can see and find basically all assets, all digital assets you have within your company. So this can be videos, this can be images, this can be PDFs, Word documents. Pretty much anything you can imagine, pretty much anything you can digitalize is gonna be visible for you here in this space. And from here, we also, of course, not only want to have all this available, but also one of the key things that's important for you as a customer is gonna be organizing all this stuff. How do we do that? We have a pretty simple approach to that, because simple usually works. That's the way to go. And you can see that right here we have a folder structure. And this folder structure is very straightforward. Again, you can add subfolders, you can remove subfolders, you can make folders just, for example, one simple campaign. And within this folder, you're going to find all the assets that are relevant to a certain campaign. And from there, you can also go, if you're a company that uses a lot of keywords, like a lot of company keywords, you can also make it even easier for your employees. So you can just go ahead and search via keywords, for example. So if you have a lot of campaigns, then you can find your assets in here. But usually it's used via the structure we see here. This is basically the first approach on how to organize your assets. But then we want to go a step further and really make the asset not only organized, but also super easy to find for your employees on the one hand, and on the other hand, also make it even more, you're going to feed it with a lot of information that's going to help you later on finding the stuff you need and also assigning the stuff you need to the correct places. And this is called metadata. This is basically what Celum lives and breathes through. This is the key factor to organizing your data. I'm going to show this on a quick example. You can always, when you upload a new asset, you can always directly assign metadata to it, but you can also, of course, always do that at a later point. And when I do this, we can see here a bunch of different metadata fields. So these are, again, of course, super customizable, because all our customers, not all, but most of our customers have very specific ideas on which fields they need here. One of the classic fields is, of course, a short description, the language you want to use, maybe a few tags you can add, that sort of stuff. And then you can also go a bit deeper, and for example, say in an agency setup, it's totally possible that I have different campaigns. And let's say we have a campaign idea here, which I'm gonna assign now. Let's go. That's not really an idea, but I think you're gonna get the idea. Webinar CIDCOM, and I save those changes. And then when I wanna look for a certain campaign, when I wanna find out which assets are assigned to the certain campaign, you can always go ahead and, one second, yes, click campaign ID, and for example, just add SID here, and then we're gonna see, okay, this asset is of course connected to this, and then I can find everything that's related to that in a few seconds basically, and it's very simple and straightforward to use. And what's also got to be mentioned about metadata fields is that we have different asset types. So for example, a very A very basic or common example would be you have videos, you have pictures, but you also have, for example, PDFs, and a PDF could be a user manual. And of course, you want to have very different metadata fields for a user manual and for a product picture. So you have a preset of a metadata layout, and depending on what kind of content this asset is, you can always have a preset field that's going to be automatically applied. And then you just feed it with metadata, and you also get assistance for that through different AI. We've already heard that. That's the buzzword of the last 3 years. So of course, we offer that as well. You can use AI for automatic image recognition, for face recognition, and so on and so forth. But I don't want to go too much in depth about that, because this is a quick run through of what I want to show you. And yeah, this is basically how you assign metadata and then also search for these assets through the metadata applied. Yeah, now that we have these assets in our system, I also want, of course, be able to share these assets with people within or without my organization. This is very straightforward as well. We go on share here, and you can either have a direct link to the asset within Celum or Celum today, and send this to people that have access to Celum. But you can also create a pin link, and this kind of works like a WeTransfer link for people familiar with that. And you can also share that externally with people that are not in your organization.
May I just hook in for a moment with these pin links? You wouldn't believe what we're doing with this. We're using it also, for example, for newsletter campaigns, to sending out data, for example, to journalists or to stakeholders, where we send, for example, a photo, a little one in this newsletter. Behind this photo is the link to the pin where you can download the assets from Celum in the resolution we give them. And you know what people are doing? They are saving these links in their inbox, actually, because we see the access. And sometimes years later, we get information from Celum, from the system, that user X, for example, journalist of this magazine or of this web magazine or web platform, is again downloading these assets, because people are keeping them. Because unlike other links, they're not running out. If I'm not setting it away, I can leave them eternally. We're doing it this way. Just for example, this is
very interesting.
Another use. We found it out. It's really easy.
That's very interesting.
And you can change the file behind the link at any time. That means we have journalists, they're regularly downloading the annual reports we're creating, and also some assets like the photo of the CEO. And you know, CEOs, they're coming. And we only have to change the name and the asset behind this, and they're still downloading the new CEO photograph and using it. So it means you can also keep these links alive by changing the data behind, unlike any other link you have with other services.
That's a very nice use case for it. Good to hear. Thanks for the input.
Efficiency.
And now that we've talked about basically storing, organizing our assets, we also want to go the next step, which would be when you have a lot of content, especially in an agency setting. There's also always going to be a bit of collaborative work on creating these assets, and we have a tool for that we call Celum Work. And this allows you, when I open it up real quick here, yes, it's loading. You can see we have a bunch of different workrooms here, also old workrooms, and you can always create a new workroom. I'm going to show what that means. Don't worry, in a second. And you can also always do that from a template. And these templates are always, again, very customizable. So you as a customer can create your own templates. How do I want my approval processes, for example, to work? And then save this here and reuse it over and over. So customizability is a trend you're going to be noticing that we are definitely focusing on a lot. And for today, I have, of course, prepared a little workroom that I want to show now. So how does this work in practice, basically? We can see here that we have a pretty basic Kanban board, and this is used to work together on assets, to discuss ideas, to have different options, and to give feedback to people. So, for example, whenever an asset gets moved to a certain column, here, for example, we have needs to be edited, then I have a task list owner, and this task list owner will get notified. Hey, you have a to do here. We have a few ideas. We want you to check this out. You can also always, I'm going to open a task right now so we can maybe see how this works in practice. You can also always add subtasks. You can also assign one certain individual for a task. You can link tasks to each other. But now to how it works, you basically, as a creative now, open up this beautiful picture of Stephanos and a colleague of his, and I can go ahead, for example, and say, okay, I like this. I also like this. But I have something that I would like you to change, dear person that's responsible for that. It would be great that, for example, here you add a logo. Please add camera, microphone, 1 second. Add logo. It's probably gonna work. Yes, add logo here, and then my colleague will get notified that he has to add a logo here, and he can go ahead and say, okay, I'm gonna upload a new version. I've added the logo. Do that real quick. Now it's been uploaded, or it's being uploaded right now, and we can see here's the logo. And now I can check out, for example, compare the assets side by side. Okay, we can see there's a change there, and we can also, for example, if the colleague has a few ideas of his own, which I hope he does, we can have different versions, and we can talk about these versions without ever them landing directly in our DAM right away, because we don't want all pictures in our DAM. We want the finished product that we show to people in the end. And then let's say, okay, now I'm happy with this. This is good for me. We're gonna go to the final step of the work collaboration tool and say, yes, for me, this is approved. I can move it to the next column. And then I can say, okay, I'm gonna take the leeway right now and say, yes, legal has approved this as well. I'm just gonna do this for now, and say, yes, okay, it's approved, and it's in the approved column. What happens here is we don't only offer this sort of automation, but we also offer a sort of automation that works with robots. And these robots work on a very basic system, which basically means if this, then that. And here we have, if this gets approved, then that, then I want this picture to be uploaded back into my Content Hub or back into my Celum DAM. So I only have the finished products there. It's super automated, and basically the idea is just something you mentioned earlier as well. You don't want to have 20 emails back and forth with different versions, different ideas, and here you have everything centralized, and you can just very effectively work together, basically. And now that we say, okay, we are happy with our assets, we've uploaded them. The next key part we want to do is share these assets. We want to make them accessible for basically all our different stakeholders. How is that done? That's going to be the final touch I have for you today. This is called portals. So portals is pretty much what it means. A portal gives you an insight into the world of Celum. So you can say that, for example, I want to create a portal and put this into my website. And in this portal, I have very designated pictures that I want to share here. For example, here we have a media portal, and then my target group can just very easily either search here for things or use these different categories to put together all the assets they want to find. And another option for that is that you don't have to make this public. You can also make this, for example, a private portal. This is like a standalone portal we see right here. You can have that secured by a password and a login, basically. So all people that can access this will have to log in, but you can also make this public. So it really depends on what's my stakeholder, what's the group I want to share this with. And then in the end here, people can download different assets. You can decide which kind of download formats do I want to give them. Do I want to give them the option to download at all? And for you, what's going to be very interesting is you also have a lot of insights generated. So you know which assets are very popular, which assets get downloaded, how often, and so on and so forth. I don't want to dive too deep into this. If this is interesting for you, I'm very glad to have a more in-depth conversation with potential customers in the future about it. But you can see you're generating a lot of valuable insight, especially for marketers in this case. And yeah, with that, basically our content supply chain management platform is finished, from uploading a picture to showing it to designated groups. And yeah, this is our idea of how this can be done, basically. And I think I can now hand over to Nick. Again.
Yeah, well, fantastic. What a great presentation. Made me look really bad. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Yeah, I'm sure. So we have another question from that we'd love to have answered. And it's about basically, this is a brand new format that we're trying as you see right now. And we'd love to see if you want more interviews done, if you want more partner demos, so on and so forth, or if you want more stuff directly from CI Hub so you can learn more about us. Please answer the questions, and then we can get right into the Q&A. And I see that a couple of questions have come in that we want to talk about.
Jonas.
There's
a question you could reply on this. I could either way.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions here and then yeah, let's go through that. Let's go through.
This is a question you can just answer with no.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for it.
All right, so we have one here. Do you plan to integrate Adobe Express? I think that's possibly to me.
Yeah.
We don't plan to do it. We've done it. So it's one of those things that you can go onto our website. You can see the Adobe Express. We launched that quite a while ago, actually, right at the beginning of Adobe Express. So we're quite embedded into that because obviously as a social media manager, it's quite a heavily used tool now. And you need access to lots of assets really quickly. And so it's actually doing very, very well for us. So please go visit our website to look at that. Then we have another question here. Again, this is more to me. Is it possible to access SharePoint content? That, yes, we have a SharePoint connector, and it's we're connected through Celum's connected to it too, obviously. Or Celum, whichever name it is today, it all depends. So yes, we have it available. It works very well. We have lots of users on it. So please, again, test it out. And one of the cool things is if you do a 30-day free trial with us, or you're an existing user of us and you want to try something else, after you're allowed to use more than one 30-day free trial on different connectors. So you can actually then test out more connectors along the way. Another one here. Do you experience more and more Microsoft Office users coming to DAM? I think that's probably to both of us, but you probably, go for you.
I can start. We've always had a lot of Microsoft Office users, basically, so I'm not entirely sure if we experience more and more of them coming, but basically, be it Microsoft Office, be it any other tool you're using in a company, be it a PIM, whatever it could be, we basically offer integrations for almost all popular softwares you can use. And I think, again, that Microsoft Office users, because that's also kind of a question for you, because we collaborate on that as well. So yeah, we work with CIDCOM to have an integration for Microsoft Office users as well. So pretty much any software you use in your company, we hadn't had the case yet where we said nope, that's not possible. You can integrate and work with Celum as well as those applications in Union, and we have connectors for that. Yeah.
So basically, you're like the Burger King of you want it, you got it.
Yes, you want it, you got it is okay. I'm not sure if you're the Burger King of DAM, but yes.
Sorry, maybe not the best. So yeah, then there's another. Is creating renditions customizable in Celum?
I'm honestly not sure what the word renditions means.
Renditions, yes. This is something. Basically, it's just different versions of the thing, so you can see when something's been changed, and you can go back.
Oh yeah, of course. You can as I showed, that's possibly in the work tool, but also, of course, you have different versions in Celum as well that you can link to each other, that you can create relations between each other. So yeah, that's definitely doable. Yeah.
All right, now over to you, Stephanos. Do you use the CI Hub connector with within your agency on a regular basis for all production, or is there specific things that you do?
But everything that comes in with page layout tasks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're now talking to different directions.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, we have to do this. So yeah, so it's you.
I was just preparing a nice post for backstage. So nice.
You use it with InDesign, so it's obviously
InDesign is our core application that we use it right now, and we considered using it, for example, with stock libraries and things like this. But by now, InDesign is just where it rocks on the database.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we talked about it a while back about getting you on WordPress as well, because you use WordPress a lot.
For example, yeah, would be also a nice thing actually too, because Celum is also offering WordPress capabilities, yeah, and as we are also very strong in creating e-commerce solutions for customers, this would be really helpful to bring these things together, because if you have one surface that people know, it's just easier to train them.
Okay, all right. With that, so what can I read into that? You'd want a Shopify connection, or a what is the other one?
WooCommerce.
WooCommerce.
Yeah. Shopify is really not the most thing we're doing, but WooCommerce would be nice.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll take that back with me. Okay. Okay, so we got a couple more questions. Let me see. This is a Celum one. Is Celum primarily focused on agency use for collaboration on projects?
I wouldn't say primarily. We have a variety of customers, and agencies are among them. Our main focus is product content management, basically, and as well as brand management. So this is among the main things we do. Agencies are also, of course, an integral part of our customers, but I wouldn't call it the super focus. We're focused on a lot of different areas, and yeah, and you fit in pretty well.
The difference is that agencies sometimes are often thinking, how can I protect my data from the customer? And here comes Celum in handy, because you can share it on a certain level, as I said before, without giving all your workbench off to the customer. It still leaves you some room to deal, to negotiate, and to create a safe space. Yeah. But agencies are really not the focus, because I know that we are, for example, in our market in a very narrow segment. But it's different in companies, for example, like Scott Bikes, have seen it. They have to share, because they're really actually selling products. Yeah? And if the bicycle is ready, then you can't copy it. You just have to buy it. It's a big difference.
Definitely.
Okay, well then, any other points you would like to make?
I said, damn, go for that, because it makes life easier.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can agree on that. I think that's going to be the thing.
Connected with a good tool. Yeah?
Yes, yeah, we know the access is a key part to making DAM
definitely
a big enterprise tool.
Maybe that's my final point. Having the option to integrate software other companies are using on a regular is very key to our content supply chain platform as well, because it makes it so much more accessible and so much more interesting for companies to use as well. It adds a lot of value.
Actually, if your client is leaving, sadly, then you can easily hand them out content from your Celum server that works. But they won't. We had it rarely, because sometimes we lost clients due to just changes in the marketing staff and things like this. It happens. But some of them are still using our Celum server, and they pay for it. To figure everything out of doing nothing. It's also okay.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I would like to take this time to thank both of you for being here today.
Thank you.
And it was a pleasure. And I hope everybody was enjoying it. We've had the results of our poll, and that's really great information from everybody and great feedback. So yeah, there's 5 minutes left, and we will give that back to you. And I think we'll enjoy the sunny weather in Vienna, and maybe even have a drink together.
Sounds great.
Cool. Then thank you very much, everybody. And Theo, it's back to you.
Thank you, Nick. I think we actually have 2 more questions. If you want to answer them, we still have a bit more time.
Okay, do we?
The one is interesting with the History Museum.
Where? I don't see that one. Did I miss that one?
Me neither.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
In the
Generally, yeah. In the questions.
in the questions box.
Ah, I apologize.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I just got to scroll a little bit
You know,
more.
I'm tech guy.
Okay.
Obviously.
Okay. So yeah, this is what happens. We're a history museum with a large photographic collection. Does your company have a program for the public to buy the images and download them from? I'm not totally sure who that's from, but
I'm assuming us. So to buy directly via our platform is not really what we do. This is
where WordPress comes in, for example, you know, or a connectable content management system, because there you can just easily top on any shop system, and Celum, for example, can deliver the resolutions you grant to your customers. Yeah? So this makes it easy. You manage the assets on the Celum server. You maintaining, uploading, and downloading them with your CI, for example, for manipulating them, for retouching them, for adding some copyright lines or what else, and then you're just handing them over, and not just placing them into a media library on your website or your web shop. No, they are really lively. You just can reject them at any time. You can add new assets, and here I'd say a small and reliable and stable, mostly plugin free, hard-coded WordPress shop solution comes in handy. Yeah? And then you just can do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to add on to that, basically, we are somewhat small, not small, we're a medium-sized software company, and we basically talk to any customer about anything, and we can make most things work. So it's very often a very tailored solution for people, and then we just gotta go into a conversation and see what we can do, what our partners can do. And it's so far, in my experience, we haven't had a case where we said, oh, that's not possible. So if that's interesting to you, please reach out. I'm gonna show we're gonna find a solution.
Okay, and then we have just 2 more questions. Yeah, 1 more question here. What conferences do you attend so you and show your product at? I will take that first, and then you can go ahead. So we're heading to DAM Europe in London next month, and we're going to be presenting there. And then we're off. Then we have a summer pause for running around, and then we're off to New York and Miami for Adobe Max in Miami, and for DAM New York in possibly New York, obviously. And then later on in the year, we're in Australia in DAM Sydney. So those are the ones that are off the top of my head, but obviously we have webinars coming up, a number with Henry Stewart. And so if you want to have some more information or more technical demo, you can also just reach out to us.
So for us, basically, I don't want to say anything that's incorrect, and I'm not from the marketing team. So it's possible that we attend this kind of stuff to present our product as well. But if I can make a suggestion, so to say, every customer has very, very special needs, and not special needs, excuse me, very, very tailored needs to themselves, individual needs. And for us, a product demo is pretty much the first way to go, and it ends up in very, very in-depth talks with the customers, and that's usually how you're going to be interested in our software, because it's got to be customized for you, and it's got to be fitting your needs. So that would be the way to go for us.
Believe that we are organizing conferences as an agency.
Okay, well then, thank you very much. I'm absolutely impressed by everybody's English, even including mine. Yeah, thank you very much, and Theo, back to you.
Thank you so much, Nick, Stephanos, and Jonas. That was a really insightful and practical session today. So just a reminder for everyone that the link to access the recording of this webinar will be sent to you all tomorrow. And if you'd like to find out more about upcoming events, courses, and webinars, please take a look at the Henry Stewart website. Also, as mentioned earlier, we are hosting DAM Europe on June 27th and 28th, so please do check that out if you're not already registered. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's session, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.